Oh boy, another make it make sense. All right, Aaron Rodgers, you have completely gone off the deep end, man. Just off the reservation. Now, I can understand where Aaron Rodgers is coming from, because nobody likes being criticized about their job performance. I mean, it doesn't matter who it's coming from. None of us, whether you're a cop, a teacher, a lawyer, a doctor, nobody likes being criticized for their job performance. I get that. However, for you to then come after Ryan Clark and say, because he didn't have the Hall of Fame career that you have, that somehow, number one, you said his career was invalid, but number two, his opinion is invalid, which, how is his opinion invalid because he's not a Hall of Famer? I don't get that. But then I do get that because this narrative that's been created over the last 4 or 5 years by pro athletes is that if you didn't play at the top of level of football, basketball, whatever it is, if you didn't play at that level, your opinion doesn't matter. You can't speak on it. You can't talk on it. Nothing that you say matters because you didn't have the God-given ability, work ethic, everything that it took for them to get there. Because you didn't have that, then your knowledge, it's just totally invalid, which is the most BS thing I think I've ever heard of. And I want to clear that up real quick. Just because you don't have the ability doesn't mean you can't have the knowledge to understand what's going on. Don't get me wrong. Experience, that trumps a lot of stuff. But don't tell me that ability trumps knowledge. If you know the game because I didn't have the ability to play the game, that doesn't mean I can't know it. Stop with the nonsense, people. That's just stupid. But then Aaron Rodgers goes on a tangent. He starts bringing up his vax situation, which has absolutely nothing to do with anything, but he's captured and he's a puppet, all this other stuff. I'm like, man, look, Ryan Clark is a guy that watched you play football. You haven't been very good this year, and his job is to tell people that you haven't been very good this year. And you don't like that. I understand that you don't like it, but what he's saying is actually true because I'm sorry, all you Aaron Rodgers fans, he sucked this year. Period. End of story. And I love what Ryan Clark came back and said. You're trying to distract people talking about vaccines and all this other stuff, saying that, well, that's part of who he is. He's captured. All because you're mad that the man said that you weren't playing very well. And then he called you a fraud because of all the things that you have come out and said and basically attacked him and all pro athletes that didn't have Hall of Fame careers that are now in the media saying that their careers didn't matter, their opinions don't matter because they're just trying to stay relevant. Aaron Rodgers, come on, man. You didn't have to say anything about that. Nobody was asking you about that, man. What are you doing? And I know there's going to be some idiots out here that just are in love with Aaron Rodgers and he can do no wrong. Or they're going to say that Ryan Clark, he's woke and, he's woke. He's been captured by ESPN. He's a puppet. When all his job is to analyze football and to tell you what's going on in a particular game with a particular team. That's his job. And if you don't like that, that's fine. Turn the station. Don't watch it. But don't tell me that his opinion isn't valid or that what he's saying isn't true when all you have to do is turn on the TV and you can say Aaron Rodgers, again, has sucked this year. It's Ryan Clark's job to tell us that. And I think for me, I thought he did a damn good job of doing that. So like I said, I understand Aaron Rodgers being frustrated by that, man. These are guys that played. They were in the locker room. They should know, hey, man, we don't like the media or whatever it is. His thing is, I get it. He's mad that he's being criticized because he hasn't had a very good year. And it seems like he's not capable of playing like he used to play anymore, which that happens to everybody. Father Time is undefeated. But Aaron Rodgers doesn't like who it's coming from. And because he doesn't like who it's coming from, he tries to invalidate them and tear them down versus saying, you know what? All he's doing is just doing his job. He's saying what he thinks. I may not agree, and I don't have to agree, but that's what he says. That's what he thinks. Move on. Just move on. But instead, Aaron Rodgers got his panties in a bunch, got his feelings hurt, and then goes on Pat McAfee, who, by the way, is the exact type of show that he doesn't like. So he goes on his show to go bash other people, which I thought was absolutely hilarious. But it's Aaron Rodgers, man. It's Aaron Rodgers. Look, Hall of Fame football player, Hall of Fame quarterback, but is going out very, very bad, man. Not graceful at all. I'm sorry. Somebody got to make this make sense.